Latino Rebels Radio. We're going to bailar Sheriff Delgadillo. It's live right now on Blog Talk Radio, and if you aren't catching it live, you're catching it on our podcast channel, which with Audio Boom, and it's getting a lot of attention. Thank you, Audio Boom. So we decided to start the show, Sharice. I don't know how much you've been following about Latino Rebels, but a lot of our other rebels, it was an interesting week because Donald Trump is back in the news. There was a lot of people coming to our site, a lot of Latinos that support Donald Trump, and it was kind of crazy. So Christian, our producer, asked some of these Latino Donald Trump supporters to come on the show. So I think we're going to have two of them. You ready for two?
I'm not ready for two.
Yeah, I think so. So we got Jorge Herrera. So we're going to bring Jorge on right now. And let's see what's up with Jorge. All right. Jorge, you're on with Julito and Sharif. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Good evening. How you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Good.
Can you guys hear me okay?
So, you sound great.
All right.
You sound great. You're calling from the West Coast, right?
Yeah, Los Angeles, California. Yeah.
All right. So welcome aboard. And we wanted to bring you on because our producer Christian reached out to you.
Yes.
And you wanted to tell us why you, as a Latino and Mexican American, are for Donald Trump. So here's your moment.
All right.
Why are you choosing him?
Well, I appreciate the time and appreciate the airwave, but I'm a Donald Trump supporter because first of all, I'm an American first, and there's no doubting that I'm proud to be Latino, I'm proud to be Hispanic, Mexican American, but this country, America, my parents came here, it gave us everything we have, and they did things right, they did it legally. So let's talk about illegal immigration, which wasn't even an issue until Donald Trump announced back in June, correct? So I want everybody to know that there's a big misconception about what he said. You can listen to the video yourself. He said that not all come from Mexico. He said that he assumes some are good people. He acknowledged that they come from South America, Central America, and other places. He said it himself, but the media just cuts that out. So the big thing that people have a problem with is his comment about rapists, drug dealers, and murderers. But if you look at these statistics from the GAO, which is the Government Accountability Office, there's plenty of statistics out there. There's articles left and right. Between the year 2003 and 2010, there was about 69,000 sex offenses. There was over 25,000 murders. There was over 500,000 arrests from drug-related crimes. And you look at people like Kate Steinle, there's Sabine Durden's son, he was murdered, there's Jamil Shah. So we ignore that people are coming in and hurting us. We have an open border, the policy's broken, and they're hurting our society, not only with these crimes, and I know what he said was a little harsh, but when you look at the data, they are coming over here, and he did acknowledge that they're not all Mexican. That's a misconception that's being fed to everybody by left-wing propagandists in the mainstream media. The other thing I want to say is also, look at illegal immigration. We have government statistics. I'll put a site up later where I can give you all my links and all my data. It's valid data. Right now, illegal immigration is costing us $113 billion a year. If you look at it this way, over 10 years, that's $1 trillion. And we wonder why the middle class is struggling and economic income, median income is down amongst minorities and the middle class overall. And if you look at the state level, $84 billion a year is the cost of illegal immigration. And I live in California, so here's a good example. Between 2010 and 2011, the California deficit was $14.4 billion with 21.8 annual billion in expenditures. So we're negative here. And a lot of these expenditures come from the cost of illegal immigration. And for Trump to call this problem out, it's not racist. That's why I labeled you guys a propagandist, because his statements, while harsh, were backed up. They are backed up by verifiable data. And what we need to do instead of
let me stop you there, Jorge.
yeah, hold on. Let me finish my thought, and then I'll let you chime in.
No,
So
Jorge,
go ahead.
Jorge, let me stop.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We let you talk for 5 minutes. We let you talk for 5 minutes nonstop.
Okay, I'm saying go ahead.
Give me a second, man. It's all good. It's all good. You need to just take a moment. It's all good. Okay.
I'm fine. I'm saying you go ahead. Just stop delaying and tell me what you're going to say. Go ahead.
First of all, we brought you on. We're giving you a chance to talk. So, but I just want. I'm not trying to cut you off, but just the big question. You shared a lot of data.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other data that would prove you wrong.
Explain it to me.
What data? Have you looked at? Have you looked at data from Pew Research, for example?
What about?
Do you know any of that data?
Well, let's hear some of it.
Where the fact that everything you're saying can be easily disputed through other sources.
Okay, tell that to the people who have been murdered by illegal immigrants. Tell that to the family of Kate Steinle. I don't understand your point of view. That's just wrong.
What about the family of Briseña Flores?
What about
the family of Briseña Flores?
exactly? What about the 5,000 people that have been killed?
Do you know who
What
Briseña
about the
Flores
5,000 people that have been killed
know
from
who
crossing the
Briseña-
border illegally? What about that? What about the lives of the Latinos who are killed crossing the border illegally? I do not hear you fighting for those people. That's another statistic. Look it up.
Yes, we do. We do.
No, all I see, I read on your website, okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, this is our
Okay,
show,
you need-
so, you know.
Yeah, go ahead.
we need to kind of
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to come on, Jorge, but you need to just take a second.
Hey, guys, I'm totally fine. Look, I am telling you guys statistical data, and you guys keep sidestepping by telling me I'm on your show. I acknowledge that. I came here to discuss an important issue with statistical data, and you cannot refute it. You just said
we are trying to discuss it
Okay,
with
go
you.
ahead. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Go ahead, sir.
We're trying to discuss it with you, Jorge.
Okay, let's do it. I'm waiting.
Sharice, you want to jump in?
So you're
Jorge.
providing.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
You provided statistics. Okay, because obviously you're not letting the host and moderators ask the question. Okay, so you're making yourself look really bad.
No, that's not right. But continue.
Okay, so what's the correlation? Because you're saying that there's an increase in murders. What's the correlation between the increase in murders and not coming from immigrants?
This is
Because now you're saying that the majority of immigrants are murderers.
No. Correction. We're talking about criminal aliens. We're talking about illegal aliens.
What's the statistic that the increase in murders are coming from Latino immigrants?
Hey, excuse me. I did not say there's an increase coming from immigrants. I just said between a 7-year period, there was 25,000 murders from criminal aliens. You're putting words in my mouth.
But what does that have to do with legal immigration?
We need to have a secure border and immigration reform. Are you listening to yourself?
Where are these murders coming from, first of all?
They're coming
What does that
from...
have to do with immigration?
Okay, go ahead. Just finish your point so I can rebut it, please. Go ahead.
Where are these murders coming from? Because now you're moralizing immigrants as murderers.
I said
So
illegal...
That's a very strong correlation.
Stop using the word immigrants. We're talking about illegal immigrants.
What's that correlation?
There's no... I'm not making a correlation. I'm making a statistical reference.
How do you know that the increase in murders isn't domestic violence? How do you know that the increase in murders aren't coming from carjacking? How do you know that the increase in murders aren't coming from domestically related abuse? What's the correlation between the increase in murders coming from immigration and illegal
Okay,
immigration?
once again, you're making...
Now you're saying there's murders and violent crimes, and that's a very strong correlation. Give us those statistics.
Okay, number one, let me go back. You're putting... I never put the argument about a correlation. I'm not trying to make a correlation. You said where are these murders... Okay, let me answer your question. You asked me where the murders are coming from. They're coming from an open border with a broken immigration policy. Kate Steinle's murderer was deported 5 or 6 times The federal government wanted him out, and San Francisco, a sanctuary city, protected him. Kate Steinle should be alive. These 25,000 murders plus are coming from a broken immigration system, an open border system. This is where the murder is coming from. I never said anything. I never said anything about increasing murder rate from illegal immigration. And you have to stop saying immigrants because we're referring to illegal immigration. That's what the left does. They spin this propaganda, and it's a false message. We're talking about illegal immigration. There is nothing racist with wanting a secure border and immigration reform. Trump said it himself. They have to go out and they have to come in through an expedited process. They can come in legally. We need to have these people accounted for. They need to pay their taxes. I'm looking at statistics from one of the government...
Jorge.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jorge, let me ask you a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Talk to us. Okay. Talk to us about your personal background. When did your family come here?
My mom came here in the 60s. Okay? Immigration was a lot easier back then. She became a legal citizen.
How did she come here?
She came here through family and a marriage. It was a family visa. And that's as deep as I have to go. She came here, she got her paperwork, she became legal in 1985, and my father became a U.S. citizen when he married my mom. So we don't have to sidestep the argument of no, listen, we don't have to sidestep the argument of where I come from. The problem is that I speak... Go ahead. And I gave you the answer.
The question is, when did your family come to the United States?
I already gave you the answer, so you can go back and listen to the broadcast. I'm not going to repeat it again.
What's the year, Jorge?
I can't tell you the year specifically. So
you don't know when your family came to this country?
That doesn't matter. That's not the argument. Stop sidestepping the issue of illegal immigration.
I'm just asking you about your personal background.
I've already gone over my personal background, and if I don't want to go in details, I don't have to. I gave you enough information, and that's what it is. So now we can either move on, or you want to change the subject, because we can talk statistics and data all the time. You know, you guys talk about... Okay, go ahead. You guys talk...
My question for you. Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
So you're saying that there needs to be some immigration reform, and there's a lot of Latino advocates that are also pro-immigration reform.
Yeah.
That aren't Trump supporters. So what would make you? What's the differentiation, and why did you decide to support Trump as opposed to, work with advocates who are also pro-immigration reform and try to find a pathway?
Yeah, I agree that,
issue. Just like you, Jorge, just like you.
Yeah.
My parents, my grandfather came through, I'll start with you, my personal background.
Sure.
I'm also from California, Los Angeles. My grandfather first started coming here illegally way back in the day in the 50s. Then he came through the Bracero program, which is the worker sponsorship program.
Yeah.
Then he was able to sponsor his dependents to come into the United States legally. But right now, there aren't any worker sponsorship programs.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have a lot of advocates that are trying to advocate for amnesty and trying to advocate for worker programs, and Trump is trying to advocate for a wall. Why do you support a wall versus pathway to citizenship, amnesty, legal worker programs?
That's a great question. So let me start by asking you this: Why does Mexico have a southern border with Guatemala, and why do they deport everybody who comes in illegally? That's a good question. So the same thing. We need protection. We need a wall. We need a border. And we need, and what I mean, you brought up a good point in which I agree with you. We do need immigration reform. The wall controls flow of traffic and people. We can regulate who comes in and out legally. Okay? So we need a wall because we have drugs coming over. We have everything, all this crime. Let me tell you something else. There was 179,000 people killed by the narco trafficking war in Mexico. These are innocent people. It's a very violent country down there. Nobody talks about that. Look up the statistics. 179,000 murders of innocent people by the narcos. And you're telling me, and there's another article I read. These drug narcos have infiltrated our cities, and we have an open border, and they flow back and forth. The guns and money goes back and forth. These people are crossing into our territory, and it's because of an open border and a broken immigration system. And I agree with you.
Define for me, because you're in Los Angeles. I cross the border all the time.
Yeah.
Tijuana, it's there's a wall and there's government stations. And before, when I was smaller, I used to be able to cross into Mexico very easily.
Yes.
And have to cross back into the United States with a California ID.
Yes.
Now I have to show my passport.
That's right.
To cross back into the United States. So what do you mean by open border? Because at this point, they're asking for, the same that you would ask when you jump on a plane and go to another country. They're asking for the same kind of permit when you're coming back into the United States. So what exactly does an open border mean?
An open border means
because
they can.
As far as I see dogs, I see military, I see canine dogs, I see drug dogs. I see people with machine guns. Barbed wire fences.
That's great. That's a great point.
What exactly do you mean by open border?
So you are aware that we have thousands of miles of unprotected border where earlier I mentioned that over 5,000 illegal immigrants crossing have died. They cross through this open section. There's no physical wall. They can literally cross the Rio Grande. That's an open border. There's literally thousands of miles without a border fence.
How many cross a day? How many cross a day?
I don't know the statistics that cross a day. But the problem is, which I told you earlier.
But it's also gone down, right? You also know that it's gone down.
That's fine, but innocent people are still being murdered. Young children and women are still being.
All right, but let me cut to the chase here.
Go ahead.
I have two more questions.
Sure.
And then we're good for it.
All right.
Let me cut to the chase.
Sure.
So, what would a Trump presidency mean? So, you're all for deporting 11 million people from all over the world, whether they're from Mexico, Ireland, Russia, people that overstay their visa on them. So, do you agree with that policy? Deport everybody.
Let me tell you the policy that I do agree with. I agree with the policy that we need to have.
No, but do you agree with Donald Trump?
I'm gonna tie in.
Trump supporter.
I'm gonna tie in.
Do you agree with this policy? It's a very simple question, Jorge.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this policy of 11 million people? So deport everyone if you're from Ireland, from Russia, from China, from India. How do you do that, Jorge?
I get the question, sir. I get the question. Okay. Personally, I'd rather not see 11 million people deported. Personally, I really want to see all the criminals with aggravated assaults get booted out of this country. Okay? But I'll answer your question. You know what? I do support it because he says it himself that they got to go out and they got to come in through an expedited process. That's what he says, and that's what he'll do. And one more thing, you got to remember. Last thing.
Is that going to be
Go ahead.
You have another minute.
Okay. So let me just make my last point. Okay. So we're just sitting here talking and going back and forth. So I'm just gonna close in saying this, that I understand your guys' point of view. You call us racist. You call Trump racist when there's no evidence whatsoever.
We're not saying anything.
No, it's on your website. It's on your website.
I don't call you anything.
No, it's on your website. It's on your website. It's on your website. Look.
Let me talk. Okay,
You
Jorge.
call Trump racist on his. You call Trump racist and his agenda is racist on your website. I'll close.
20 minutes, sir.
I'll close. You're shutting me down because I'm proving you wrong.
20 minutes. Let me finish this up.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you this thing. This is what your founder wrote. On the contrary, I will agitate against them and their racism. This is from Rick Nahara, and I will say this: you do not need to agitate. You do not need to label us racist. Instead of doing that, we preach a message. Latinos for Trump and the Trump community preaches a message of unity and peace. Okay? No. That's wrong. That is wrong. You should not agitate. We should be working together on a solution. We should be working together on a solution. You should not be agitating, and that is what you do with your false propaganda. And I've proven you wrong.
Okay. And Jorge, thank you for using. Hey, Jorge.
Hey.
You did a really good job.
Thank you for the time. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys for listening.
For your propaganda, so we appreciate your time.
No. My propaganda. There's no propaganda because my statements are backed by truth and facts. You had no substance in arguments tonight. No substance. No substance. Thank you.
Here's the thing.
No substance, guys.
The last time we checked, this is our show.
Hey, you chose to have me on it, and I appreciate it.
We invited you to the house.
Hey, thank you.
I guess going back to moms, I want to go back to moms for a second.
Sure.
When you get invited, what did your mom always say when you get invited to someone's home?
Don't open the refrigerator.
Wait.
Hey guys,
Respectful.
hey, I was not disrespectful. I was not disrespectful one bit. We use respectful language.
That's great.
We're, that was 20 minutes of Trump support. But you know what was interesting?
Right.
I think it's almost like when you ask them the question about deportation, it's like
now they're gonna spin.
no, I don't agree with that, but